Wakanda is a kingdom of many secrets.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel dropped a brand new trailer for one of their next upcoming series called Black Panther: Eyes of Wakanda. It's basically their Black Panther series that they've been working on for a while. I believe it's meant to take place inside the MCU. It's based mostly around the Hattusaraze, the War Dogs. As you can see, it looks like it takes place in the past just because of all the tall ships, the sailing ships in the background. So it looks like we're going to be seeing an ancient version of Black Panther, who's king of Wakanda at the time during this series, and a version of Iron Fist. I know there's all kinds of questions about what's going on with Iron Fist in the future of the MCU, just because Finn Jones has been talking about coming back during Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and Marvel made it sound like the Defenders are all going to reunite on screen. We literally just saw those scenes of Jessica Jones on the set of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 with Matt Murdock filming scenes. So there's a bunch of stuff coming up later this year. All these episodes will drop in August, as they say, so if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. They haven't released a ton of information about this. The synopsis is, in this globe-trotting adventure, the heroes must carry out dangerous missions to retrieve vibranium artifacts from enemies of Wakanda. They are the Hattusaraze, and this is their story. They also refer to them as the War Dogs. They featured them briefly during the first Black Panther movie, and then during Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. They're featured a lot of different places during the movies too, so like during the prologue for the first Black Panther movie, T'Challa's father T'Chaka goes to America with the War Dogs to see what's going on with Kilmonger's father. That was a War Dogs mission that they were on. Over the many centuries that Wakanda has been a nation, they've had a version of this group going around protecting vibranium. If either people steal it somehow or they give gifts of vibranium to other nations, they'll send War Dogs to actually monitor it. Or in the case of, say, like Ulysses Claw, if he stole a bunch of vibranium, they would send War Dogs to try and retrieve it. Obviously, they weren't successful in that mission because Ultron was able to get his hands on it, and they had the whole plot of Avengers: Age of Ultron go down.
Vibranium.
This new trailer is mostly focused around the main character. The figure that you see the center of all this wearing the lion mask is called the Lion. He's played by Cress Williams, who most of you probably remember as Black Lightning from the Arrowverse. He actually showed up during the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover too, canonizing that show to the larger Arrowverse. There are a lot of people that are wondering if the lion references are actually to Sekhmet, the lion god, and her lion cult, which is part of the Black Panther comics. There's a lot of different types of gods in the Black Panther pantheon, mostly Egyptian gods that they worship, because Sekhmet, Egyptian god. They kind of got into that in an adjacent kind of way during the Moon Knight series because that was the Egyptian pantheon. So technically, that pantheon is also connected to the Black Panther characters, but they didn't get too much into Black Panther lore during the Moon Knight series. They have not revealed what goes down to cause him to go rogue, but it just seems like he attains this power, and one of the ways would be to form a pact with Sekhmet, the lion god. It's the same phenomenon with Bast, the Panther goddess, granting power to Black Panther, like forming the pact with every Black Panther that comes along. We actually did see a live-action version of Bast in the MCU during Thor: Love and Thunder, but it was very, very brief. The other character they featured during this one in the blue, the Dora Milaje character, is called Noni. She actually goes after Lion. I think the idea is that she is tasked with taking him down. It seems like they jump across the timeline a little bit, like there's a younger version of the Lion than an older version. The younger version you see using that power that looks kind of like Black Panther's power. It's his voice that says Wakanda is a nation of many secrets. So part of the idea, the secrets they're talking about, is that they get into more of the lore from the Black Panther comics. My assumption is that when he rebels and forms his own lion cult and becomes more powerful, Noni then goes after him, and that's how they run into eventually this other version of Iron Fist. When it comes to this new version of Iron Fist during the series, they haven't said if it's the War Dogs fighting that person or if they wind up helping each other. Since the Iron Fist during any given era is typically a hero trying to help people, you'd think that the Wakanda people would work with that Iron Fist. But it is supposed to be an Iron Fist from some ancient era, not from present day, not the Finn Jones version of Danny Rand's Iron Fist. I don't know if it's going to be during hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago, like during this era here where it looks like it's just hundreds of years ago. Because we do actually have a lot of information about the line of the Iron Fist going back to Avengers 1 million BC, so we actually do know a lot about the history of Iron Fist.
Did I only ever know half the story?
But if they're doing Iron Fist from this era, where it seems like in the trailer footage, it might wind up being Wu Aoshi, the pirate queen of Pinghai Bay. Up until recently, when they introduced the Fan Fei Iron Fist as the very first Iron Fist on planet Earth, Wu Aoshi was supposed to be the first female to wield the Iron Fist, but Fan Fei is a female, so technically that kind of retconned that idea. They actually canonized Wu Aoshi to the live-action Marvel Universe through the Iron Fist Netflix episodes. Just because the head of Marvel TV recently said that they canonized all the Netflix stuff to the MCU, it just happened, they just decided to do that, so technically Wu Aoshi would already be canon to the MCU.
Nagging me ever since Frank Choi told us your mother's story. I've heard that story before, Colleen. In Kunlun, a story about the first woman to defeat the dragon. Her name was Wu Aoshi. You know her as the Pirate Queen of Pinghai Bay. A woman who may very well be your ancestor.
During the Iron Fist Season 2 episodes, they revealed that she was Colleen Wing's ancestor as a way to set up Colleen Wing becoming the next Iron Fist, where she and Danny Rand essentially share the power of Iron Fist at the same time, basically explaining why she had a right to claim the Iron Fist. Jessica Henwick actually revealed that she was almost in the Shang-Chi movie recently, and she decided between doing it and doing the Matrix Resurrections movie because they were going to be filming at the same time. And she said she chose to do the Matrix movie instead because had she done Shang-Chi, it would have been as a different character, and I think she was actually supposed to play the Katie character. So she wouldn't have been coming back as her version of Colleen Wing, and she said that that would have meant that she could not have come back as Colleen Wing. That would have shut the door on Colleen Wing returning, and she didn't want to do that. She did want to eventually come back as that character. A couple years later, we find out that Marvel is basically bringing all the Netflix Defenders characters back anyway, starting with the Daredevil characters. If you haven't been following the news or my videos, Marvel has already announced their plans to bring back pretty much everybody from all the shows, or at least the main characters, not like every single person probably. But after Daredevil, Kingpin, Bullseye, Punisher, who we see in that, Jessica Jones is supposed to be the big Netflix Defenders character after them. Then after that, just depending on how the timing works with all these other actors, stuff that they're working on outside of the MCU, Luke Cage would be like the next one, then the Iron Fist characters after that, including Colleen Wing. They might mess with the order on who comes back when, but that's the basic plan. I'd assumed they'd try to recast Finn Jones' Iron Fist, Danny Rand, but it actually sounds like they might let him come back at this point. He talked about that recently. Note that his idea was to do a Heroes for Hire show with Luke Cage, which I think is an easy slam dunk for Marvel, because Kevin Feige just recently at D23 Brazil was talking about how their big plan now is to do multiple seasons of shows, and they basically did that with Netflix. They're doing another version of what they did with the Netflix series with everybody getting multiple seasons. Even if they don't want to do a completely different Heroes for Hire TV show with Luke Cage and Iron Fist by themselves, they can just bring them on both to a future season of Daredevil Born Again, like Daredevil Born Again Season 3. The other really big things that Marvel's working on in the background for next year, particularly animation, is X-Men 97 Season 2, and they've already confirmed Season 3.
My name is En Sabanur. Oh dear.
So Marvel's basically moving into, shifting into X-Men mode. That is one of the many reasons why they're focusing so heavily on the classic X-Men during Avengers Doomsday over all the other potential groups that they could do during that. Secret Wars right after that will be sort of a soft reboot point for the MCU where they'll retune everything. So they're going forward in Marvel Phase 7, it'll be a big jumping on point for brand new audiences, and they'll use this new X-Men movie for that, and all the other X-Men based movies that they'll be doing during that. They'll be doing a lot of cosmic movies, a lot of supernatural movies, and a lot of Black Panther related movies too. We will probably get a trailer for X-Men 97 Season 2 or a teaser of some sort by the end of the year, hopefully by early next year. They didn't say exactly when that's going to release. Most of the live-action TV stuff is focused now on Daredevil Born Again Season 2. They've already revealed that next year is like peak Punisher because we have the Punisher special presentation, which is like a small movie. Punisher is now going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which would be huge. Cannot wait to see what that's going to look like. And he's coming back in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. All the rest of the Black Panther related stuff that they're working on is mostly just for Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars, and then Black Panther 3. Ryan Coogler has already started talking about that. I've done a couple videos about it in the past because we know Denzel Washington is going to be playing a villain during that. They're going to be introducing this newer version of Black Panther who's supposedly going to be taking the mantle from Shuri, which seems like it's going to be T'Challa's son, also named T'Challa, conveniently. My assumption right now is that they'll introduce him in a bigger way during Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars. Probably not till Secret Wars. I think that Shuri is still meant to be the Black Panther during Avengers Doomsday. And while they're in the middle of this whole soft reboot, they're going to retune things to explain how this new version of T'Challa shows up and becomes the main version of Black Panther in the movies going forward during Black Panther 3. I would not be surprised if they start that movie with Shuri still wearing the mantle of Black Panther, but by the end of the movie, she has passed the mantle to this new T'Challa Black Panther. But do not be surprised if we see a multiverse version or like an alternate version of Black Panther during Secret Wars at some point. Like there'll be multiple versions of Black Panther.
Kilmonger.
When it comes to Iron Fist in present day, Marvel's plans are always changing, so we'll see what happens with Finn Jones and any other versions of the character they introduce. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below. I'll do videos on all this different stuff as we get more news and more footage for different things going forward, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss anything. I literally just posted my finale video for Ironheart. Click here for that because they just introduced the Mephisto character finally in the MCU. It's about time. And click here for all my Black Panther 3 videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.